So now we are validating that the user doesn't submit this form empty. In this video, let's see what actions we are going to perform when the user adds the expense name and the amount. Right here, we're going to add the expenses into the list. So we're gonna use again HTML. We already have this instantiate here on the top. You can see it's right here. So we're gonna call the method add expense to list, and to list like this. And this is going to take the expense name and also is going to take the amount like this. So we're passing these both, the information from the fields, into this new method. So right here I'm gonna open the class, and right here I'm gonna add a new method. So if you remember, this one is taking the name and also the amount. So we're going to add a comment right here, displays the expenses from the form into the list like this. So we need to write all the contents from this. And first I'm gonna create a const. And if you take a look here on the HTML, I already added a list. So you can see we have a div with the ID expenses, and it has this UL. So we're gonna target these expenses and also this unordered list. So it's going to be expenses list is going to be equals to document query selector. So it's going to return the first match, expenses UL. Then each expense with the amount is going to be an li, because we already have this unordered list. So inside we're going to add an li. Const li is going to be equals to document, and we're gonna create an element. We're gonna create an li. Then we're gonna start adding properties into this li. We're gonna add a class name, and we're gonna add a bunch of different classes because Bootstrap has a lot of classes when you are trying to do something. So we're gonna add list group item, dflex, because it's going to change this to display flex. We're gonna add justify content between, and I'm gonna add align items center like this. So we have 5 new classes right here. So then we're gonna add insert into the we're gonna create a template, and right after we're gonna insert into HTML. So we need to add li inner HTML equals to quotes, and right here I'm going to add the name. This is going to display the name of the expense, and then we're gonna create an span. And we're gonna use the batches that come in Bootstrap. So inside the span, we're gonna pass the amount. So you can see the name is going to be passed, it's going to be added right here. If you remember, right here when we insert the expense, we're passing the expense name from the input, but also we're passing the amount. Both values come from the form. So they are going to be added into this li. In the case of the expense name is going to be added into li. The amount is going to be added into the span. So we need to add some extra classes. I'm gonna add batch primary, batch pil, and this is going to give a nice styling to these expenses. Then we're gonna insert this. We're gonna expenses list, and we have the variable right here, and we're gonna use a dot append child, and we're gonna pass this li. So we're gonna add 500 budget, and let's say that we have food, and we're gonna add an amount, let's say $100 for this week. We're gonna add this, and you can see we have food, and we have also the 100. You can add the $sign right here before this other $sign. So let's add a budget of 100, and let's add transportation $40. add this, and you can see we have the $sign right here. And all of these classes that we added in this list group and also these badges are giving this nice styling that we have here. So Bootstrap is the framework that I'm using to create this interface. So these are Bootstrap classes. So you can see that we are adding these expenses. We need to subtract this from the budget that is left. So in the next video, we're gonna write this function. So let's continue working in the next video.